Hello, brains! Finally, it's here! The episode about the dreaded and inevitable ADHD tax. What is the ADHD tax? The ADHD tax is the extra money we ADHDers end up spending because we forgot to pay a bill and now there's a late fee. The grocery store is too overwhelming, so we ordered delivery 5 nights in a row. We ordered clothes online that didn't fit and then forgot to return them before the return window closed. Or because we impulsively bought something on clearance because we just had to have it, without considering that we have no place to put a full-size trampoline in our apartment. It can also apply to the extra time and energy we spend on doing things last minute or at inopportune times. The ADHD tax is year-round, but December is ADHD tax season. Rush shipping, impulse buys, decorations we will totally not be able to find next year. We can't avoid the ADHD tax altogether, but we can reduce how much it costs us and be more intentional about where we spend it. Or so I've heard. I am not a doctor, and I am definitely not a money expert. We did interview an expert, though. This is Rick Webster from Renify, and he had some amazing advice to share. But I'm paying the ADHD tax of waiting too long to make this video, and so now I'm gonna basically recap some of that awesome advice. We'll have Rick back on for a more in-depth conversation about financial literacy later, but for now, let's talk about how to reduce some common ADHD taxes. I know one of the biggest ways I pay the ADHD tax during the holiday season is by spending too much on presents. Sometimes I start shopping late and I can't find anything good, so I spend a lot of extra money to make sure their present doesn't suck, or on rush shipping so it'll get here in time. When I do start early, I inevitably find something else they'll like so much better and end up buying that too. I also rarely have a budget set aside for Christmas, which is embarrassing and not something I really like to admit. So I end up spending a lot of money that I don't actually have. But as Rick explained to me, the purpose of the holidays is to build connection. It's a chance to connect with friends and family, the people who are most important to us. And sometimes spending more money can get in the way of that connection, either because they feel awkward about how much we've spent on gifts that they may not actually like, or because we are so stressed out by the end of it that we're not even able to be present and enjoy ourselves. So instead of throwing money or credit cards at the problem of what to get, he suggested that we spend less time shopping and more time reflecting on what we like about the person, what they mean to us, and then buying a gift that reflects that. For example, when I first came to Portland to stay with my friend Lexa, I bought her a pair of hand towels that said, "This kitchen is for dancing." For most people, this would be a silly gift, but for Lexa, they were meaningful because they showed that I understood and accepted things that were important to her, things I love about her. And yeah, thinking back, those have been the best gifts. And if we're still tempted to buy expensive gifts, because that's the store's job after all, it can help to imagine how we'd feel receiving that gift. What if I'd given her hand towels and she'd given me a jewelry box encrusted with diamonds? I'd feel pretty awkward. And if we find that meaningful gift, but it won't arrive until January unless we spend $38 on rush shipping, you can just print a picture of the thing you bought them and wrap that and explain, which, by the way, builds connection. But Jessica, what if I do all of this and I still put too much money on my credit cards? Well, apparently, you're supposed to set up a holiday budget. But as I've mentioned in another video, link in the description, that's not always the easiest thing for us to do. Budgeting can be complicated. If budgeting feels like a lot to you and you can't trust your brain with cards, Rick suggests go to the bank and withdraw whatever amount of money you're comfortable spending and put yourself on a cash economy for gift buying. Once you've spent it, that's it. This will force you to spend only money you have, unlike a credit card. Plus, it'll give you a physical, tangible representation of how much money you have left to spend. After all, we ADHDers can use all the help we can get. Those are our tips for minimizing the ADHD tax during the holidays. Thank you so much to Rick Webster from Renify for helping out with these tips. And remember, there's no shame in paying the ADHD tax. We all do it. But we can reduce how much it costs us by remembering gifts are for connecting, not impressing. We don't have to pay for rush shipping, and credit cards are sometimes best left at home in an ice block. Thank you to my brain advocates and all my Patreon brains for giving me the gift most meaningful to me, the support that allows me to do what I love. Like, subscribe, and jingle the bell so you don't miss Santa. I'm excited. Can you tell I'm excited? Bye, brains!